Hello and welcome to Packman Paranormal. I'm Ernie Pack.
Denise Pack.
And we are Packman Paranormal. Last week we had Jeff Eastman on?
Mm-hmm.
Had Jeff Eastman on, who designs and sells equipment for ghost hunts. He's also got his own paranormal team. Since that, I've learned that we put him in touch with Brandon Alvis. He sent some equipment off to Brandon Alvis to test. Hopefully he'll get a nice endorsement out of that, and that'll work out good for him.
Yep.
I had announced that we were going to do a reveal of our Randolph County Infirmary.
As I told him not to, because he always does that. He always pre-plans the shows and don't discuss them with me first.
And anyway, that's what I was going to do. And Denise and I, we had a better idea. There was something that came up online earlier this week. There was a post on a fan page for Waverly Hills Sanatorium by a former employee there that had raised a lot of eyebrows and confused a lot of people about the future of Waverly.
Let me just put these comments up here, since I was seeing how long it took you to do what I told you to do, and you said you would do it, and then
I was talking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm doing important stuff here.
Hello, everybody over
the damn
here.
Show.
All
right. So anyway,
I told you to do it, and you said, I do it. You always gripe at me about doing it. And then I sat here and I gave you a whole 2 minutes and you didn't do it.
You didn't give me it was like 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Just finish your intro and go on with it.
We thought that it'd be a good idea to get someone on from Waverly Hills Sanatorium to try to dispel some of the rumors and uncertainty surrounding the upcoming tour season. A lot of you may know there have been some changes made up there, but they do not in any way affect how the tours are going to go going forward. So I thought I would get in touch with my buddy Dale. Dale and I actually grew up on the same street at the same time.
God bless him. He's been putting up with you that long.
Well, he claims that he doesn't remember me, but there's no way somebody could forget me.
Have you heard of these people that have traumatic experiences in their lives and then they kind of block them out and forget about them?
Well, it might, yeah. That
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Well, what's the show about tonight? She's always a smart ass to me, folks. For those of you who are new to the show, this is how it usually goes. But anyway, I got my buddy Dale Clark in the other studio over there at the Clark Mansion, and we're going to bring him up and let him talk to you a little bit about Waverly Hills. He's the tour director at Waverly Hills. He's been there since the earth cooled, and he knows every nook and cranny of that building, probably better than me. I know a lot of y'all think that I'm a great expert. Everybody comes to me with Waverly questions, but this guy probably knows as much about it as I do, or as much about it as anybody. I'm sorry, maybe more than most of us. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to the director of tours at Waverly Hills.
If Ernie can figure out how to
leave me alone.
The computer.
There he is.
How you doing, guys?
Doing good. How are you, man?
It's cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I live out in the country now. There's no trees. It's just windy and it's cold.
Yeah. I believe you're not too far from Casey Cemetery, are you?
No, I'm not. If you know where the roundabout is in Rineyville, then you know where I'm at.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. We're 3 minutes from the gate at Waverly Hills. Did you know that?
Yeah, right over there.
We can see it from our front porch.
I was up there earlier today. Believe me, it's cold up there today too.
Yeah. Next time you're up, come on by. Just give us a
holler. I may just do that.
Yeah. But you have been at Waverly since about 2003?
Actually, I started up there with a ghost hunting group that used to run the tours before they were quite the monster that they became. And the first time I worked in the parking lot was probably 2001. It was right after the ownership changed. Right. And back then tours were all of 4 weekends in October, and that was the whole season. That was it.
Yeah.
They didn't have overnights yet. It was roughly an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. They were sprinting through the building, and that was it. And it was just Friday and Saturday for 4 weeks, and that was all the tour season. It has changed drastically, and it's continued to evolve, and we're hoping that the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I really think there's a lot of potential up there for things that could, I don't know, be better for the people of the community that may, because you and I both know, having lived here in the shadows of the building for some time anyway, that there are people in this community right here within miles of Waverly Hills that have never even seen the building outside of what you can see going down Dixie Highway.
We're going to try to make it a little bit more accessible. And we are going to, we got to take baby steps, but
absolutely
within 18 months, I think everybody will be pleased with the changes. For this year, I can tell you that there was only one change as far as policy and process goes. Back sometime before the administration changed, it was decided that the ticketing system would change. And when it went live January 1st, there were problems. There were a lot of problems.
Yep.
And we are doing our very best to solve it. And the people who are upset by it, believe me, we get it. We are so terribly sorry. But sometimes when software screws up, sometimes you don't even get the the alarms that are supposed to go off. If it's so screwed up that they're not going off and you don't know there's a problem till it's ginormous, it's hard to fix. But the meeting we had today, basically I told them all that we are going to treat these people like this is Ritz-Carlton, that somebody asks you where it is, you're not going to go, hey, it's over there. You're going to get up, you're going to walk them over to it. We're going to service the hell out of these people. We're going to make them feel welcome. The content of the tours is not going to change. I'm bringing back fan favorites as far as the overnights. The overnight, we call them leads now. I've even, I intend to talk to you a little bit about it at some point too, just so you know.
I'm looking forward to that conversation.
I'm bringing back the people who know how to show people a good time in there, so that it becomes the experience that everybody comes here to have. I've been there. We've never promised anybody that they were going to see anything. We've told them that we would try to make sure they had a good time while they were there, and that it was definitely possible.
Yeah.
And that's what we've lost something. Last tour season was unbelievably skeleton crew. There wasn't enough of us. COVID hit. Some of our hardcore volunteers were, worked in hospitals. They didn't feel comfortable coming out, being around a lot of people. There were people with newborn babies. They didn't want to take the chance. And we get all that. Everybody had a completely legitimate reason. But I'm adding more staff. I've been I took volunteer applications for about 2 weeks and got completely snowed under. I had so many applications that I could not, I do have to work during the day. I couldn't get to them fast enough. People were starting to reach out to the board, to other people on Facebook. Hey, is he alive? Is he doing anything? It's like, yeah, I would come home from work and I would spend 3 or 4 hours at my laptop going, okay, where's the oldest one? Let me start there. And and a matter of fact, I got to the point where I actually entertained the idea of going the other way. Well, let me start with the newest one so they won't be angry. And I'll just let the people who are already angry just be a little bit more. But I was always working the oldest. How are tours and investigations structured now? For right now, they're pretty much exactly the same way. When you get a 2-hour tour, you're going to go with one of my guides. They are all of the ones that in the past, They are all re-auditioning. They understand that seniority has nothing to do with it. It's all about what you know, how your personality is, and we're going from there. All the overnights, they're pretty much going to be structured the exact same way. The main change this year is we're going to have more people to help take care of our customers. And we're probably, if things go the way I want, because they're becoming so unbelievably popular, and they're also my favorite, I'm not going to lie, we're probably going to be adding more daytime tours.
Yeah.
Because they sell out so fast, and they're limited. And I don't necessarily want to oversaturate anything, but I feel like we're missing out, that there's people who are in from out of town that just don't have the chance to see it and I'm trying to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that we were, but I'm saying that I don't want to be Walmart. I want to be Nordstrom's.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
where I want to be.
Exactly. I mean, it to me, having, been inside the Waverly bubble as part of the inner circle there, working closely with the former management and staff and everybody at Waverly, you kind of get to where, I mean, it's almost like tunnel vision, where you see the Waverly way and you think, oh, we're doing everything perfect because we're Waverly and we're the biggest, the best, and we're on it. But then spending this last year outside of that bubble, traveling the country to other haunted locations and seeing the way that things were done, I got a lot of, new viewpoints on things. Well, we could have done this. I don't know why we don't do that, and I think that, there's a lot of things that can be improved upon from how it was done in the past.
It can only get better, though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But, I mean, Waverly it sells out quicker than any of these other haunted locations.
Yes,
it's the hardest ticket to get in the paranormal field.
We had two, and people. I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, we're moving further away from the turn of the century." That ghost hunting and paranormal investigation is eventually going to die off, just like spiritualism and everything else did. It's not. We put up 2 junior ghost hunts this year. The first 2 we put up, they were sold out in 4 hours, both nights.
Yeah.
We put up a third one, and it lasted a day.
Yeah.
Those are fun. I love taking the kids. I've got 4 daughters, and they all grew up ghost hunting. His first meeting with me, he got to meet 3 of my daughters, so I'm surprised he continued to talk to me after that.
Well, that's the thing. We're trying to open it up and cater to more of what our customers want. The tours used to be between an hour and a half and 2 hours. They're pretty much going to be 2 hours. I don't foresee any, unless there's something wrong. There shouldn't be any more hour and a half ones.
Right.
We want everybody to feel welcome. We want to make sure that they get to see the building and hopefully see more and just have a good time while they're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right now, tours are done on Friday and Saturday nights,
Correct.
Every other Sunday afternoon for a historical tour.
Yeah, twice a month.
Mm-hmm. You have public overnights, which run from midnight till 6 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights.
Correct.
Can I interject something right there?
Go ahead.
For anybody watching or listening here that doesn't know, because I know as an outsider coming in, I never wanted to do a public overnight because I always thought public, there's going to be 1,000 people there. How much fun is it actually going to be? I've done 2 of them, and I was not disappointed because the way it was structured and set up, I had plenty of time to see what I needed to see and plenty of time separated from other people, plenty of time in certain areas that I felt like it was money well spent. So I encourage anybody that don't have their 10 people to do their, $1,000 overnight, that a public overnight is
affordable.
It's affordable and well worth it because you're not going to be disappointed.
It's a 180,000 square foot building, so there's plenty of room to split 50 people up
Absolutely.
in a 187,000 square foot building.
With all those people in there, I never felt like it was a bad experience as far as having too many people around me. I felt like we were very much able to do what we needed to do.
Right.
So
you know, that took a little trial and error, right? That,
I'm sure.
Yeah, I was there when we were doing it other ways.
When the overnight started, the public ones, you know, we just turned everybody loose. And then we found out that, hey, there's 43 people on the 4th floor. There's 2 people on 2. Nobody's on 3, and everybody else is on 5, and they don't even know how to get to 1.
Right.
Yeah.
And they forgot where the body chute was.
Yeah, there's people lost in the body chute. They went down the body chute. Yeah. We don't know where they went.
How is the condition of the building? It's pretty much as it was. Construction still moves forward. The last I heard, they're still planning on, renovating the building in some way. And a lot could change, though. I'm not sure what the building will eventually become. They have to stop the water. They have to stop the rain. That is a must. It has to be. I know a lot of people were upset that they didn't like the windows going back in. Right. And I get that, because the building looks, to be pretty honest with you, when I first went up there in 2001, and the fire escape in the front was completely covered in ivy. You couldn't even see the window openings. Yeah. There were still busted screens hanging off the solarium, and the loading dock side just looked completely different. Yeah. There were trees growing up out of the floor of the laundry room, poking up where the roof used to be. I get it, but if we don't keep the water out, there's not going to be anything left.
Yeah.
Water destroy. I mean, look, the Titanic is laying on the bottom of the ocean. The water and the bacteria that's in it are eating it. And in 50 years, there's going to be a rusty spot on the bottom of the ocean. That's all that's going to be left.
Right.
The same thing goes with this building. We got to get it dry, and we got to keep it dry. It was one or the other. There's going to be a meeting on both.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
we know that quite a few of these people in our chat, you're going to be seeing them on the 10th or the 12th, because we know quite a few of them.
Yeah, I know
That's okay. That's okay.
And we recommend all of them. We love
anybody
all these,
you see over here in the chat,
we love all these
people.
They're good people. They know what they're doing. We give them our personal endorsement.
Yeah, that's no problem. They will get to know me. I'm sorry, I didn't have that on.
The chat?
Oh, that's
yeah, I do now.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
So how is the condition of the building? I think the junior ghost hunts are a great thing. I've done 2. Yeah. There are messages about a meeting.
Todd, I'll answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have seen things on the security cameras in the parking lot, in the grounds surrounding the building. Entire area is haunted.
You were on the phone with me one night when some girl was coming up the
walking
street.
up the hill on the road, and I went down there to get her, and she just kind of vanished on me. So yeah, but when you're there on an investigation, you're confined to the building, because we just don't want anybody wandering off. We do have a lot of trespassers. Security is going to be done by a security firm up there this year, so they should be a better handle on that, wouldn't you think, Dale?
Yeah. They're in the process of vetting that. That should probably be in effect here real soon. There is still, the old style security still on site. The building is not unattended ever. It's always being watched, and but that will the security situation will be one of those other things that will make this a better experience. If our customers are comfortable and safe and everybody's all good, then they can go in and they can do their investigations. They can have a good time, and then when they leave, they can think, what, I really want to go back, next year, next month, whatever.
Yeah. I think that's another thing that's going to be good too, because I know just when Ernie was my guide that, well, I've been there multiple times. I first came in 2008, and I can't even tell you how many times I've been to Waverly. It was at least an annual trip for several years. And then when I met him, it was several times that year. But I know that you can't always get your tour guide in the building with you because they're watching the cameras. I think
No. That's over. I hate that.
That's what I was going to say. I think that's the best idea because we've seen on a lot of these webs or Facebook groups, people actually selling their services. If you pay my way in with your group, I'll come in with you and stay with you through the night and help you. So people are basically using that for personal gain.
Yeah, they're getting a free investigation at Waverly by telling people, "Hey, I'm an expert investigator, and you pay my way in,
So now
I'll show you around."
Now that's going to stop because you actually have your guides that know Waverly that can be in there if you want them, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, they don't have to stay. It's the way it's structured is going to be a little bit different, because we're still going to stage up in the dining room. And I'm not going to lie, it's because of the new bathrooms.
Yeah.
It just makes things so much simpler. And not that the laundry room is not going to be used. We have plans for it. And, I can't tell you everything, but, I'm hoping that by the time we get there, everything will be pleased. The guide, or for the overnights, we call them leads because they're not really a guide, and chaperone's not really the right word. So I just call them leads. That's just the simplest thing to do. They will be, if you ever been to the haunt, they will, if it goes the way it's leaning towards, they're going to basically, if you don't need them for anything, they'll be where the gift shop was for the haunt. That's where they're going to be. The security force will be down in the laundry room or wherever we move them to, watching the cameras and tending to that god-awful stove that everybody loves so much.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll go from there. Let's see. What is my favorite part of the building? Do you really want the answer to that?
Tell it.
Because it's going to sound sappy.
Go for it.
I love being on the roof at dawn. I love being outside on the 5th floor at dawn.
Well, we have kind of an affiliation with 502 ourselves.
I'm sure you got your Waverly tattoo as well.
Yeah, see it at the top there?
That's right.
That's my I've been made fun of because I don't mind, I've been asleep in there. They go, "Doesn't that bother you?" I slept like a baby. So you guys have cameras throughout the building. There are a few places. It's not the entire building. That they've actually added some more. It's mostly on doors that we just need to keep track of. Somebody actually asked the other day if we had them in the bathrooms, in the restrooms. It's like, I think that's illegal.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure that's legal.
And it's a little creepy.
No.
Hey, when we went last time on our private, and I went in the new bathrooms down there beside the morgue, the overflow morgue. I was using the bathroom, peeing, of course.
Oh,
people.
yeah. Surely there's curtains in there, right?
There was not. Me and all the women were in there. I turned around, and it was a wide open view looking across.
Straight
and I was
into the parking lot.
I was like, I hope there's nobody out there right now. But whatever. They got a free show.
We have to fix that. You're absolutely correct. I wasn't in charge back then. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
That's all right. They just got to see my butt.
Let's see. Can you order anything? I believe you still can. And there's a bunch of hellos. Hello, everybody. Are there areas in the building for teams to connect cameras and viewing or wired? No, there is a few outlets here and there, and there are a lot of them that are, you can't reach them. They're way up by the ceiling. You need to have your own power supply just to make sure you can get where you want to be, because I can't guarantee you that there's going to be wires there. No, I can't.
Yeah.
Once, if you've never been there, once you see it, you will understand. Once you get up on the fire escape end of 4, you'll go, hey, yeah, he's right. There's not yet. Maybe
right
someday, but not yet.
That's paranormal.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Paranormal, and everybody else chiming in.
We do
Tim
see
Coomer.
all you guys over here. We're just trying not to keep interrupting the conversation too much here.
Beth Allen asks, do you have any pointers for applicants?
Just be honest. That's it. I'm not really, I'm trying, believe it or not, I've had people from, 8-10 hours away wanting to be a volunteer. And I was like, why would you want to do that? I'm trying to limit it to roughly give or take a half hour, 4 hours or closer. And I'm willing to take, Ernie, the Waverly, we're a huge dysfunctional family.
Absolutely.
We are all walks of life, all races, creeds, colors, all political spectrums, all religious spectrums. We don't always get along the best. But we're kind of like New Yorkers. If you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. There's just be honest. I've got 3 canned letters that I send out, and it's not automatic. I do every one you get. I personally sent you. I'm not that good with a computer. Like I said, just be honest, and as long as you can show up for a meeting, we can talk. As long as you're not, too awful on the weird spectrum, because we're all weird. You got nothing to worry about.
I'm the most normal one in the bunch.
Whatever.
You know what?
I say that because he's already seen my Thor slippers with the little capes on the back of them.
Hey, you never know, because you see that this moves backwards. I'm sorry. The Klingon flag over my shoulder. I never saw it till my wife said something. She goes, that looks like a swastika, right? I'm like, well, son of a bitch.
Right now for him to see.
Do what?
He says, if you'll take Ernie Pack, you'll definitely take anybody.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, hey, I see a lot of these. There are several, and I apologize if I say this wrong, that SQ last name.
Yeah,
several of those people with that last name have been through there. The Jason, I'm assuming is it Herod or Harad?
Herod.
Jason Herod. I think I sent you a letter today. And
yep,
yes,
Paul
I am.
Jason, both are. Beth Allen too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they all contacted us this afternoon.
They
and said, "Hey, we got our letters."
They will all probably be coming with us on Friday.
And I'm stupid. I sent out this letter about 2 meetings, one or the other, and I didn't put a time on it.
Yeah.
So and then I'm like, I need a nap, something. I'm not sure what I need, but I should have known better. On the 10th, since there's so many of you in here, it'll be 6:30 p.m. We are meeting on site. You're going to come in through the dock door into the dining room. On the 12th, it'll be at 7 p.m. Same place.
All right.
Cool.
If any of you have ever volunteered before, ever talked about volunteering before, and you felt a little put off, the way things were structured before for volunteers is going to be completely different. All right. You will not just be in the parking lot. I promise you. Does that mean you'll never be in the parking lot? No, you're going to be in the parking lot, but you won't just be in the parking lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, like we said before, all these people are awesome, good people, and we definitely give them our seal of approval.
There's some of them in there that I don't like. But
I have to make, if I'm going to expect good people to come up there and work for me, I have to make it worth their while.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I love the parking lot. I ran it for years. I was worked up there. I was a tour guide up there. I left for a little while. When I came back, I worked the parking lot for 2 years before I ever went back in the building, and I loved it out there. Do we need cameras and all that stuff for these meetings are not allowed this time? Just like you can't bring don't bring your spouse or your best friend and leave them in the car. Just you and we're just going to talk and make sure it's something you want to do. And if it is something you want to do, we'll move forward. And if it's not, I'll wish you luck. Try to sell you a ticket, and we'll go on from there.
Exactly.
All right. There is if you go to the website, therealwaverlyhills.com, there's a volunteer application. You just fill that out, and it will find its way to me.
Tim Coomer he's a good guy. He's been with Things Universal, Things Paranormal. He's now with Riverbend Paranormal, Indiana. He's a good guy. I
won't hold that against him. I married a Hoosier.
Yeah. We in the last year with Packman Paranormal and the Midnight Wolf Pack and all the traveling we've done and the podcasts and all that stuff, we have ran into and made friends with probably everybody anybody's ever heard of in the paranormal field.
Pretty much.
And
plus he talks a lot. He don't know when to shut up. So I got the mouth of the South.
Listen to this. But everybody we talk to, when they find out we're from Louisville and that I was at Waverly, off and on for years, everybody, it's a bucket list thing. Got to have it.
You know what? I'm going to, give you the dirt on Ernie Pack. You know what? There are things I could say, but guys, realistically, I'm going to plead the Fifth Amendment. I have no comment. No comment. Ernie and I grew up before video cameras were in every smartphone. All right. It was just different, and we'll just leave it at that.
All right, Dale. I'll pay you tomorrow. No,
we'll talk later, okay?
Yeah, we'll talk after the show ends. We'll stay on here and talk for a minute.
Hey, we'll bring Todd. Stay over, and we'll send you a link. I can't say y'all. Everybody.
He's going to try to find me at La Coretta after a couple of margaritas. That's what he's going to try to do.
Yeah. I gotta know the name of that tequila that you have in the fancy bottle, because I gotta have some of that. I gotta have her try it.
In the white bottle, the white porcelain bottle, tall, skinny one.
Yeah, the tall, artistic.
Look, he said he wants me to try it, like he wants it for me. Don't let him lie to you. I don't do all that drinking.
As a tequila connoisseur, and I am, it is one of the best I've ever had. And it is called, you'll pardon my pronunciation, I don't speak very good Spanish, but it's Clase Azul.
Clase Azul.
The only place I've ever found it is Total Wine on Shelbyville Road. And, it's kind of pricey, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it was amazing. When we had it down at your house that time, we had like 4 different bottles of tequila, and I thought I was a big shot when I brought the 1800 out and set it on the table, and then you came out with that bottle, and we were sampling the different ones, and I mean that didn't even taste like the same beverage, it was just so good.
So that's when you talk about tequila, and I know that's not why we're here, but
we talk about whatever.
When you talk about tequila, when you see people, people go, well, I don't like tequila. Well, why don't you like tequila? Well, I tried Jose Cuervo once, and it just wasn't any good. That's not tequila. That's not it. They call that tequila. You ask any Mexican. I have several Mexican friends. They go, a real Mexican will not drink that. That's not. Right. That's not what they call tequila. You got to go somewhere else.
Lisa says Total Wine in Springhurst Shopping Center has it.
Okay. All right, Lisa. Thank you.
All right then. Now that Yeah, that was amazing. I loved it, and I've never had it since, and I didn't know the name of it. I wanted to buy some, but didn't know the
Oh,
name of it. So,
apparently Beth's had it. It is.
Beth was a
Hey,
bartender and a bouncer and God knows what all.
She
She
got
knows
her.
everything.
She goes by Beth 316. We know her as the para thug.
Yeah.
okay. Hey, Lisa, was everything good earlier this afternoon? Everything was good. Just give me a yes or a no.
Yeah.
It's taking her a minute there.
That's okay. And Beth, if if you like, when you come up here, you like that, we may have to talk.
Hey, we could come over to our house after the meeting on Friday. If they're going to all be coming back to our house, they're going to come up and ride over with us. If y'all want to come back over here after the meeting Friday.
Yeah, we'll bring some Casa Azul.
Hey, I'm on vacation this week. I'm an old fart. My birthday's this week, and I just took vacation. That's not why. I mean, my wife and I, we're either geniuses or the dumbest people on the planet, because in the middle of all this last spring, we bought a house.
Yeah.
Now, I got the best interest rate imaginable, but I lived in the same place for 26 years, and I moved, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get done. So yeah, I'm on vacation this week because I got to work here.
I understand that.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, happy early birthday, sir.
Thank you.
What were you?
I
I thought you started to say something.
Not this time. I was going to let you talk.
Let's talk a little bit about Waverly. You put a post out, I believe it was year before last, something like that, on Facebook. It might have been last year. Actually, I think it was last year when everything was shut down, of a picture from the south end of the 4th floor looking out the window. And you talked about how, it might sound corny or whatever, but I love coming here and smelling the honeysuckles, and I imagine the patients, looking out this window, and I mean, you've got a passion for the building just like we do. Ours comes from.
I obviously haven't spent as much time up there as y'all, but I definitely have a passion for it. It's a special place to me for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
I get that because of Renee. Believe me, I get that.
Yeah, we might have. I mean, it might sound crazy to people on the outside, but our story is actually this is our story from our heart.
Which is why we've got the tattoos.
The nurse who was found hanging outside of room 502 brought us together, and
just different weird odd occurrences, and that kept being the part that kept coming back up.
That was the constant connection. And I mean, it's a crazy story. Wait for the book. I mean, it's a long and tangled web.
Hey, that just means that you guys are part of Waverly's ever-evolving history now.
Exactly.
That's exactly what that means. So congratulations and welcome.
Well,
thank you.
Well, but the thing of it is, the people would ask me, after giving up somewhere between 6 and 9 months of weekends, pretty much every weekend, every summer, why did you do that? Why do you give up so much time? You've got a wife, you've got kids, you've got family, and it's a passion for history, really. It took me a long time. Almost every tour guide, when they get started, they kind of start feeding off the crowd if they get good at it, and the people that are there, they start feeding that energy, and they start. It's easily addictive. It is, and every single tour guide, every one of them, and I did it. All right. I'll be the first one to admit I did it. You start thinking, yeah, this is me. And it ain't.
Right.
It's not.
No.
It's not. I was gone. I left for a while. And you know what? Nothing happened. Nothing collapsed.
Yeah, place kept on going.
Yeah. So they're like, so okay, why do you do it? Let me give you a story. All right. This is a story I normally tell on a Sunday tour. Is it okay if I tell you this?
Oh, absolutely.
Right ahead. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm walking through the building, giving a historical tour on a Sunday afternoon, and it's hot. All right. Sun's shining, not a cloud in the sky. There's a lady walking through the building, and she's got this clear Ziploc bag with some papers in it, and she's holding it like this up against her chest. And at first I kind of looked at her, I'm like, what is she doing? But I learned a long time ago, if it's not hurting anybody else and they don't volunteer it, I don't ask a whole lot of questions. All right, so we walked through the entire tour, and she's like this. I'm like, okay. We get to the end, and she walks up on me, and she's stepping hard. I mean, she walks up on me hard. She's like, I need to speak to the manager. And I'm thinking, because, I'm not supposed to cuss on tour, and I have a very foul mouth. I'm like, oh, God, what the fuck did I say? All right. Did I drop an F-bomb? Did I say something really offensive? Did I say something against religion? What did I say? So, I automatically, ma'am, is there something I can help you with? Can I fix something for you? Can I clear up anything? Nope. I want to talk to the manager. Okay. So I take her down. She's talking to the manager. And what it was is this was a homemade diary of her great aunt. And, it's not like you'd go to the store and pick up something made, in China. This was just, basically papers put together. It was handwritten in pencil, very hard to read. She delicately takes it out of this plastic bag and she sits it down. She goes, I want you guys to have this. Not everybody got to read it. All right, it's very delicate, it's very old, and it's very hard to read because the pencil has faded. I'm reading this, and this woman is, and I mean this in the truer sense of the word, she's ignorant because she has, like a second grade education.
Right.
She does not know what's going on. She's sick. Her family is terrified to come see her. They won't do it. She's completely alone. She has one friend, and it's a nurse, and that's it. She doesn't talk to anybody. Nobody talks to her. She's completely isolated, segregated, whatever word you want to use. That's her. Now, towards the end, she figured out that she wasn't going to make it. And the last 3 pages are basically her writing out, just begging someone, anyone, to take her home so she could die at home. And it is, and I read a lot. Mm-hmm. It's probably one of the saddest things I have ever read in my life because it's not made up. It's not a TV movie of the week. This happened.
Yeah. In that building.
Yes. And though that's why most of us do this, because that's what we're looking for. The stuff that's real. Is there a lot of misinformation out there to be cleared up? Misinformation. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I heard somebody told me today that they heard that this was the last year there were going to be tours.
Yeah,
I can tell you that that's not true. All right, that after this year it was going to be nothing but TV people.
The renovation.
Yeah.
Just between us, I mean, the TV is great and all, but that don't pay the bills.
No.
All right, you guys pay the bills. All right, Waverly is a nonprofit organization. That's why it has a board of directors. All right, after expenses, every penny you guys spend up there goes back into the preservation of the building, the upkeep of the grounds, making sure that the roads are passable. Because, I mean, just last year, the low road caved in. Mm-hmm. Because there was a pipe under there that nobody even knew was there that collapsed. Because some of that stuff up there has been so long, there's nobody left that knows where everything is up there.
Exactly.
It was too many years, mm-hmm. Cross feeding, and the pipes used to go this way, now they go that way, and
and the property evolved over the years while the building was in operation so much that you don't know where the sewage lines are, or the septic tanks, or whatever until it falls in on you.
Right. So don't worry about this. Oh, this is my last chance, because they're not going to do tours in 2022. that's not. I'll put it this way: I haven't heard anything about that other than people asking me, "Is that really the case?" And no, that's not even been brought up.
No.
And the first time I heard it was 2 days ago, and they said it's everywhere. I said, "Where's everywhere? I haven't seen anything." And then all of a sudden, as soon as somebody told me it was everywhere, it was.
Yeah.
Somebody else on one of those Facebook groups had mentioned something about renovations, which, you know, and Ernie tried to explain, they have been renovating, and even Jason Harrod over here chimed in, they have been renovating the building since they bought it in 2001.
Yeah.
It's not that they're, I guess they thought renovations is all of a sudden
they're going to snap a finger and it's going to be a bunch of offices.
They haven't been up on board recently.
Price tag that's been attached
to that. And with that being said, back to people trying to jip people out of money, they were like, this will be the last year because they're renovating. It's going to be the last year of tours, and they were charging people $250 a ticket to go with them.
Yeah, to join in on their public or private overnight. Yeah.
People are ripping people off right and left.
In Waverly,
I hate to don't do that. You know, contact me. You know, we will before you go doing something like that. Money's too hard to come by right now, guys. The world, you know, Ernie and I politically we're polar opposites, but I still, I can tolerate him, and that was for you, the guy who wanted the dirt on him.
We have to tolerate in the house because he and I are polar opposites.
And that's okay.
Politics, I would kill him.
But all that boils down to is, we're all out here trying to make the best life we can. Money is too hard to get a hold of. Private message me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. Just don't pay that. All right.
Yeah.
I will answer any question to the best of my ability. But no, the tours are not ending this year. I heard that the haunted house is dead for good. I talked to a gentleman tonight that is excited about making, and if he comes on board, and I'm not going to say no names or anything like that yet because it's not a done deal, but the haunted house this year, if he comes on board, will put the Waverly Haunted House in the listing of the best ones in the continental United States. I shit you not. All right, It's not going to be the best one in the city. It's going to raise it to a completely different level.
Nice.
Right? This guy does not play any games. Now, the haunted house. Ernie, you know this, but just as well as I do, that we get a lot of crap over the haunted house. Oh, it's so disrespectful. I can't believe you would do that.
Right.
Guys, the main building, the one that everybody associates with Waverly, the hospital organization had been open since 1908. The first hospital opened its doors in 1910. That building broke ground in 1924. And when it opened in October of 26, what do you think the first thing they did was? Ernie knows.
I know this.
All right. What was it? Party. They threw a 2-day long Halloween masquerade party. One night wasn't enough. It lasted 2 days. And Ernie knows, like I said, just as well as I do, they drank a lot of bourbon up there. And they fooled around quite a bit up there, too. I could tell you some stories of interviews from former patients. It's weird to hear old people talk that graphic sometimes, I tell you.
Right. Babies were made up there.
Yeah. That there is no doubt. And, the haunted house is basically continuing that tradition. It is the largest fundraiser of the year. And, it's hard on the staff. It's unbelievably hard on the staff. It's exhausting. We all have day jobs. It's a necessary evil. Mm-hmm. It just is.
And,
all right, I've been reading. Awesome. Am I missing questions over here? What did I miss?
I think it's just comments.
Todd asked you, he wanted to clarify, or he wanted to clear up his question about misconceptions as far as the history of the building and some of the stories that are out there about some of the spirits. And I'll take part of that and then turn it over to you.
Okay.
Waverly Hills, the records for Waverly Hills, it is my understanding in my time there that many of the records were lost during the 1937 flood. They were kept with the city records downtown at City Hall. And when the 37 flood happened, all of that stuff was lost. Many of the city of Louisville's records are still lost due to that, because there wasn't duplication back in those days. And then 1967, another flood came along and wiped out even yet more records. So a lot of the stories of Waverly Hills are hearsay passed down from former patients,
Students.
former patients or employees. And so it's the Historical Society has been working since since I can remember being associated with Waverly. They've been working their butts off trying to get to the bottom of some of the stories that we know of Waverly, like the nurse who was found hanging, which I still feel like the story is different from what's told, but I don't know. I don't know.
I know more. I've seen the nurse's death certificate because most people, they always want to know what her name was. She still has family locally, and they asked us to we don't mention the name. Mm-hmm. Very few people know it. You may know it, Ernie. I don't know, but
I know the name of the spirit that communicates with me when I'm up there all the time. That's what I know.
I was there when they talked to the. I can tell you his name, Mr. Thornberry, the maintenance man who had to cut her down. And as far as misinformation, yes, there's. The problem is every tour guide in the past had been trained by a different person. And you guys know as well as I do, you've all done that thing as kids where, you have a big circle of kids and they start one sentence whispered in one direction. By the time it comes all the way back around, it does not resemble the original sentence at all. Yeah. We are going to fix that. All right. There will be a common training, which all tour guides, including myself, are going to go through. I heard somebody the other day say, my tour guide told me that Lois and Audrey Higgs were twins. And I went, what? That's not the case. That they were like 8 years apart or something. Yeah. I mean, it was, if they're twins, Lord help them mama. 8 years, that's a long time to be in labor.
Lois died when she was 26, right?
28.
28.
Yeah.
Okay,
she was there for right. You're going to have to bear with me. It was either just under or just over 7 years. How long she was there? We know how long she was there because I've seen her her death certificate too. She had taken an upswing before she passed, and she went home on furlough, got pregnant, came back, had a baby boy that she never got to touch. That was. I know we know she saw him once. Mm-hmm. Before the parking lot was there, when that ravine was back there, somebody had parked on that side of the road, one of her relatives, and they were holding him, and she was up on the solarium looking down at him. After he was born, because she never held him, not once, she never touched him. That was the only 2 times I'm aware of that she ever saw him. Actually, yes, we have. There are exit signs and there are fire extinguishers. But as far as there's a good chunk of the building that still does not have power. There's a good chunk of the building still doesn't have windows. Yeah. So everything as far as safety code. Yeah. We all the stairwells are clear. There's no clutter. There's no debris. There's even a banister that goes all the way up to 5 now. Remember how Ernie, how halfway up the banister stopped?
Yeah.
It doesn't stop anymore. We try to make it as safe as possible. But to be perfectly honest with you, I usually don't have a whole lot of trouble with ghost hunters in the dark. They usually prefer it that way.
Exactly.
nobody seems to. Most of the people, they know how to walk around the dark. There's no holes that you would ever, fall through or anything in the floor. There are a few holes in the walls, but you'll be fine. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty safe place. I mean, I've walked into some walls on the first floor down there.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Going around without a flashlight.
I've done that
it
too.
It's pitch black down there.
It's the whole. Okay, there's a good question right there. Let me bring it up there. There is some debate about whether or not the nurses' wing on the first floor will be open this year. I cannot answer that. I'm hoping. Since the management change, I have not been in there. The two times I've been up there since that, there's a padlock on the door. I don't know what's in there. I don't know what kind of shape it's in.
I know the combination.
It's not that's not it.
Oh, they changed the lock then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and I'm not real sure why it's like that until we get the door open and take a look. Unfortunately, the jury's still out. There are some rooms on the first floor in the haunted house that are locked up. That there's props and stuff. I mean, ghost hunters don't want to come around the corner and run into a life-size Freddy Krueger.
Right.
That's probably bad. Then but especially on the upper floors, there used to be a room that was locked on 3 by the stairwell that runs by the operating room. That's open now. There's most of from 2 up, everything is pretty much open, except for there's a couple of things on 5 that are locked for safety reasons. Right. There's a room on 5 that there's a hole in the elevator shaft big enough to drive a smart car through.
Yes.
That one, if somebody was, not paying attention to the dark, somebody could easily fall. The elevator's stuck on 3, so you're going to fall 2 stories down onto. And last time I looked at it, there was probably about 15 radiators on top of that elevator car.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good landing. So that door is always locked. The door up to the bell tower is always locked. Those steps are pretty treacherous. You've been in there, haven't you, Ernie?
Yeah, they're straight up and down practically.
And broke in half, and it's just but other than that, everything's open. Any place you want to go, any room you want to go in, if there's not a padlock on it, you are more than welcome to.
Yeah. And he's talking about the investigations, folks. The tours are still going to be guided tours.
Yes.
And they'll have a set path that they go on. Don't know if the path will change from years past or not, but
we're going to change it up some so that people the people who are into ghost hunting and want to do the investigations, God love you. Whatever God or goddess you believe in, let them love you. But that's not for everybody. People just want to come up and see the building. If you take a tour, we're gonna change it up a little bit. Probably midway through the season, the tourist route is going to start to change because we want people to maybe see something that they had never seen before.
Right.
If they
don't usually go south of the main stairwell on any of the 2-hour tours.
I'm the only one who does.
Yeah.
There's a lot of activity down there too.
Just because that end when the windows stop on the front side, I'm not gonna lie, I like to go down there because it reminds me what it was like when I first started going in there.
Yeah.
So when I was doing 2 tours a night in high summer when it stays daylight for so long, the 8 o'clock tour, just in case we didn't get to do shadow people, I felt like the people deserved something extra. So I would take them down that far just so that they would see something that the people on the 10 o'clock wouldn't even be exposed to.
Right.
And usually, most of the time down there below the fire escape, they go down there and there'd be 6 or 7 deer eating and they'd ooh and ah. And, it just made it just little something. There wasn't a whole lot I could do.
To give them a bang for their buck.
Does Dale know your deer story? I'm just curious.
I don't think he ever heard that, because that was during the off season.
You need to tell him your deer story.
Okay. So I was up there on a Saturday afternoon during the off season last year, and I was taking a lap around the building. I used to take a lap about every couple of hours. I just take a lap around the building in the golf cart, just to kind of break the monotony of sitting there staring at the cameras, I
always thought it was good for anybody that was watching to see lights moving around up there. I just always thought that was good. That way they know they're up there. They know they're watching.
Yeah. But this was during the afternoon. And,
okay.
So
this is the best story
I got around
ever.
there real close to where the deer feeder is or was, and the phone rang. And I guess I had just gotten back in range, for the ringer to pick up, you know what I'm saying? The phone rang, and it was the Waverly phone. I stop and I answer the phone, and I'm just sitting there looking at the building while I'm talking on the phone in the golf cart, and a tongue goes. I turn around and there's a deer's nose right here. I'm like, what the hell? And
he didn't say what the hell. He put his own deer eyes on and said, "Hey, baby, what are you doing later?"
Oh yeah, we made out for about 10 minutes. And the deer walked over by the feeder and stood there and looked at me and stomped the ground like, there ain't no food in this damn feeder.
Yeah. What are you doing to me?
I mean, he got me good. He got me from halfway up my freaking forehead.
Hey, was it? So basically, he was telling you that you either put food out or he's tasting you. You're next.
Yeah. You
got cannibal deer up there.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize just how much wildlife and everything is up there. The property itself is beautiful. I love just kind of taking a golf cart and taking a ride down around toward the pump house and then back up, in the springtime or whatever. Even in the fall, it's amazing. I think when the leaves are in color.
Ernie packed the new Salt Lick.
Yeah. Thanks, Todd. Remember what I said about Todd?
I'm gonna leave that one alone. There are several directions I could go there. I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember what I said about Todd Eskew being a good person for you to remember his name? Yeah, he doesn't need to work at Waverly.
Okay.
Didn't Todd that one?
Ernie is once for dinner.
Not cool. Well, how long can you stay with us? I
don't have to work tomorrow. I can stay as long as you want me to. When you get tired of me talking, tell me to go to bed.
All right. Well, we can just keep yapping.
Okay.
Tell me anything that you want to get off your chest or put out there about Waverly Hills that we haven't covered with questions or anything.
Just there's a lot of negative stuff going on out there. Don't believe everything you hear. We're not giving up. It's not ending. From your standpoint, from the customer standpoint, it should stay at least the same, if not be better. And we're definitely shooting for better. And this is the Waverly thing. It's definitely a journey. It's not a destination. We're the board of directors, they've got some new ideas. They've got some fresh blood. They are, they're entertaining a lot of different possibilities for the place. And I mean by final possibilities, not that the hotel is dead, but,
right.
You never know. Things could change. We'll have to see and play that by ear. I'm not on the board. My wife is. A lot of people think that, you're going to get whatever you want. Yeah, she's already shot me down like 5-6 things. That ain't happening.
Renee's tough. For those of you who don't know.
Yeah, my wife is, everybody, she's quiet. She smiles a lot. She's as cute as she can be, but she's evil. Just don't think that she's not. I love her anyway, but she's.
I'm not. I'm
she's
sweet as pie.
Yeah,
You're full of shit.
Just remember, if you're pissing her off and she's smiling at you, and you just think, oh well, she's just too nice, no, she's plotting something.
Yeah.
In her mind, she's figuring out where she's going to bury the body. I promise.
Yeah. She's thinking a full moon ritual or something to use against you, something.
Yeah, we've taken some steps to, anything that pertains to me on the board. She's recused herself. She's not voting. The rest of the board will handle anything that I need. That way that they can't say that, we don't want anybody to be able to say that there's some kind of weird favoritism thing going on. Because I don't want there to be a conflict of interest. I'm bending over backwards to make sure any and all volunteers are treated fairly, that they don't just have to sweat in the parking lot. They don't get to, in the past there've been, hey, I've had to go to the bathroom for an hour. Can I I'll pay somebody $1 if you let me go pee. And I get that.
You can tell who's controlling the comments right now, right?
Ernie, you're not going to win. It's like trying to kick water uphill. I'm just going to call it that.
No, she's got her whole coven over here backing her up right now.
Things are only looking up. I am going to, the way I see it is, Ernie, you can back me up on this. Everything up there is, you set the tone with the first time you talk to people. There's a big difference in, like, when you run across the trespasser, you can be argumentative from the get-go, or you can understand, man, they want to see it. They just want a picture. If you start off with, hey, you're not supposed to be up here. Stop right there. Right. People are already on the defensive. Things can get out of hand really fast. But if you go, hey, guys, what are you doing up here tonight? You know you're not supposed to be up here. The tone changes just by how you talk. And if I can make the volunteer staff and the regular staff happier and treat them, not that I'm not saying specifically that people were treated bad in the past, but if I can make everybody happier, they're going to treat the customers better. And everybody wins. The customers come up, they have the best experience they've ever had. I got volunteers that want to come up instead of trying to figure out, hey, I don't have enough people on Friday night. What in the hell am I going to do? All that, it's going to, the way it's looking, with the volunteers that want to join, with the volunteers that have agreed to come back, we already have more than we had the entire tour season last year, even if nobody else joins. And I have plenty. Most of them are on this list over here that want to. We're going to be in a good spot. Ernie, I don't know about you, but when I first started giving tours, I had 3 cabooses. I had one in the back, one in the middle, one up front. And they were constantly rotating depending on where I went. One of them would stop and let everybody pass, and they'd count. And then everybody would rotate, and the guy that was in front, now he's in the back, and they would do that. Now, if somebody gets sick or has to leave or something, there's no caboose.
Yeah, you're
actually. I keep saying that I'm not supposed to call. This is something I got told that they're not cabooses anymore. They're tour assistants, and I call them TAs. So the TAs, I want one seasoned TA, and then I want the new people. The way this is going to work, since I have so many of them on here.
I have to be with him all the time because he has to have someone to keep him in line.
Okay. When
she's not, we don't need her.
when the way this is going to work is, if you work in the parking lot on the first tour, you're going to go in the building on the second. Yeah. And if you're in the parking lot if you not in the parking lot on the first tour, you're probably going to be in the parking lot on the last tour. Everybody's going to get a fair shot. Everybody's going to rotate. Everybody's going to be treated like they're part of the team. I don't need anybody to prove anything to me. I will figure out really quick whether or not you're going to work out. Everything will. It's all going to be strawberries and cream. I don't see any. Yeah. We're going to move forward one way or another.
Well, the thing with me is, for someone to come up there as a volunteer and volunteer their weekends to, helping park cars or whatever they're helping do, they have a love for the building.
Absolutely.
And it used to be that it didn't matter if you had that love for the building and you spent your weekend up there in the parking lot, often in the rain or the cold or the heat, whatever. If you didn't have the seniority, you weren't getting in that building no matter what.
That's not going to work. That doesn't work for me.
Right.
Let's say for sake of argument. All right. I'm gonna throw this out here hypothetically. This is the way I see it, and if it's wrong, the board will have to smack me down. But I don't think I am. Let's say you volunteer. I get 4 hours of labor out of you in the parking lot. What's minimum wage? $7-something, $8 an hour.
Right.
8 times 4 is 32. What's the ticket cost? 25. So you went through the building. So what? I got 4 hours labor out of you. I mean, and I'm not trying to be callous about it. I'm not trying to put people in a monetary thing. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate them doing what they do. I'm just putting this in real terms. What have I lost if I got an extra caboose go through the building and the guy who was out there, pardon my language, sweating his balls off for 4 hours on a blacktop in the sun, or the woman that was sweating her front parts off? Right. What have I lost? Not a damn thing. But I may have made a volunteer that thinks that they're appreciated, because they are, and wants to come back the next weekend. And Lisa, as far as the gate goes, if I have my way, there will be 2 people down there.
Brady, look at you.
And there will be 2 people down there. The tickets will have to be scanned this year, and you are going to rotate out too. Nobody is going to be stuck in just one spot, because I don't like to do it. And I told them all, I gave them my word, more than likely, unless something unforeseen happens, I will be in the parking lot with all of you opening weekend. All right.
Awesome.
We had to bring these folks in so that Todd could insult Ernie in person
Actually, Todd asked like 40 questions during the course of the show, so I thought we might as well have him on the damn show. And that is his lovely wife, Leanne, there.
These are 2 of your volunteer applicants.
Yeah, I recognize the names. I do. And there's a Zach too.
Yeah, he's our son.
Yeah, okay. All right, I was gonna say I knew there was at least 3 of you.
Oh yeah.
They have they've actually been guides at another location. Don't like to say the name, but it's a very popular and really awesome haunted location.
A very well sought after location along the same caliber as Waverly.
I'm not going to ask you where, but Ernie, do you know if I've been there?
We'll talk after we go off the air.
Okay.
It's in Tennessee.
Yeah, I probably have been there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great location.
Yeah.
So
I got you. I can tell you're taking the high road, and I absolutely positively commend that. I know that this season, probably this season and next season both, there's going to be a lot of questions, about former management. There will be some people that probably aren't happy that the management has changed, just because the former managers were very well loved. We wish them well, and in whatever their future endeavors are. But that is one of our guidelines. Most of the people that came back from last year, I had a talk with several of them today, because just to be perfectly honest, we had a little bit of a meltdown, but trying to rebuild the wheel, that's understandable. To me, it's always not what is there a problem? It's how you handle the problem when it comes up. Everybody's cool now. And we're taking the high road no matter what. And that's just the way it is.
Well, these locations are great regardless. I mean, what goes on behind the scenes doesn't matter. The locations are wonderful.
The living personalities are not what the places are about anyway. It's the building, the history, and the spirits there. I mean, so that's what people come for. and that's what matters
Right.
at both of those places.
I missed at least 3 seasons when I left and came back and worked the parking lot for a while, as you know, where I wasn't a tour guide. And you know what? It didn't affect the business not one bit.
I got to throw
People
that
were
out
still there.
They've
Yeah,
got
absolutely.
they've got references already over here. Look at that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
We
you.
love you, Sherry.
Like you say, I
Sherry,
mean,
what about us, Sherry?
We've never been that guide. We hosted an event at Rosemont that she was at. She should give us a raving
She should
review.
give us a raving review on that one.
yeah, and you
Gotcha.
hit it right on the square on the head. You know, all these locations, even the location we were at previously, Waverly Hills, a lot of these different locations are working really, really hard to get the truth, the stories, the misinformation cleared up. And you know, I commend all these places for doing that, and I commend you guys for doing what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're not too proud. If we find out without a doubt something we've been saying, because believe me, the information I give on my tour in 2002 is not the same information I give now.
No,
We're not too proud that when we find out for sure, without a doubt, that we got something wrong, we change it immediately.
Yeah.
Even if it's down to the simplest thing. For 17 years, I've been saying they officially dedicated the main building on October 17th. Something that simple. That's wrong. It was October 20th.
Yeah.
Now, granted, people go, well, it's 3 days. Big deal. Well, it matters to me.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, getting the truth out there, you know, that is part of history. You've got to get it right. So I
Yeah.
agree.
You know,
Yeah.
and like our previous location, they've gone as far as bringing on historians to do the legwork to get it right, and they're doing it the right way.
Mhm.
So
We're actually probably going to look for one. Unfortunately, was it last year, Ernie?
yeah.
We lost probably our historian that had the time to put the most effort into it to lung cancer.
Encyclopedia of knowledge.
Well, you know,
And-
we've got a pretty awesome historian type person over here.
We do.
Miss Beth Allen is huge on history, and she does a lot of research.
She's like the CIA. She can find stuff that nobody
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
that's where that whole parabug thing comes in.
the records thing is definitely a problem. Ernie and I apparently the basic part of the story was the same, but we heard 2 different things, and his. I'm sure the 37 part took out the earliest records, but as far as the later records, what I heard, you guys from Tennessee, you're not going to have any idea what the hell I'm talking about, was that they were stored in a basement in downtown Louisville. And Ernie, if you remember in the early 80s when the sewers blew up,
Yeah.
and like 4 square blocks, the sewers collapsed and
Yeah.
backed them all up into the basements. I heard that's when the later records were destroyed, but I don't know for sure. That's just what I was told. It may very well have been what you were talking about in '67. I don't know for sure. That's entirely possible. I know there were a tremendous amount of Woodhaven records in the vault on the first floor.
Yes.
And one of the previous owners had a security guard that liked fire, and he lit the vault on fire.
Yeah.
I think I'm not going to say his name, but I think he's still in prison for something completely unrelated.
I think you might be right.
Courtney's asking what, in all of our experiences, what the most haunted areas at Waverly are, because she's never been and she's coming for the first time this year.
She runs Trinity Paranormal Investigations
Long
of Long Island.
Yeah.
Do you want? I'll tell you what my opinion is, and then Ernie can contradict me.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
There's no set place. That the energy up there ebbs and flows just like the tide. It's not always in the same place. There's a lot of things up there that I have seen that are famous. There's a lot of famous things up there. Like if you remember, I haven't heard, nobody's asked me about it for a little while, but a few years ago, the big thing everybody wanted to talk about was supposedly there was a doppelganger up there. I never ever saw that. Not once. Have I seen the creeper? Yeah, but I got a different take on the creeper. Nobody likes my explanation for it.
I've seen the creeper.
And
I've seen it on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Just talking. Quit being rude.
But my advice to you, and this has been stolen from me by several people. The best thing you can do is try to get away from everybody else. Sit down on the floor in one of the bins in the hallway. Sit in the dark and wait. That's my best advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone had asked.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Someone had asked on one of the fan sites, I believe it was, what's the building? What are the hot spots of the building? And I started listing. I said, well, on the first floor, you got blah, 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 blah. The second floor, you got blah, 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 blah. Third floor. And, I mean, I understand that why things are being done the way they're being done right now. But my favorite room in the hospital where I've had the most consistent activity has always been the cafeteria. And with that being a staging area now, I think that's, going to kind of take away from investigating there.
We're going to try to section it off. We're going to try to make the staging area, as far as the investigations go, back by where that one hole bathroom is.
Okay.
And then you'll still be able to, or maybe up in the alcove at the other end. And then once everybody disperses, you'll still be able to be in there, on the privates.
Right.
When you trust everybody around your bag.
Right. Right.
Now the public ones, that's going to have to be a little different because you don't want anybody stealing your stuff, and I get that. But on the private ones, I wouldn't worry about that too much because we're going to try to keep everything at one end and the other, and then you can still use that whole big room for anything you need it to.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean, people, that's a question that, you get asked, I get asked all the time, or used to get asked all the time is, what's the scariest part of the building or what's the most active part of the building? And like you say, I mean, it depends from day to day. It might be the third floor at the south end. It might be the second floor by Lois's room. Lois is a really strong spirit, and when she decides to make her presence known, she can do it. The fourth floor, there's always shadow play.
Hey, Ernie.
Anytime of day or night.
Hey, Ernie. Did you hear about what happened this year? About Lois and Audrey?
No.
And I'm sorry, Sherry. I'm not ignoring you, but bear with me. Would you tell it? My wife snuck in.
Okay. Go ahead. Join us.
Join us, Renee. Come
Everybody
on
else is here.
Come on.
It's a party. There's Miss Renee.
All right. Would you tell them what happened?
So we had someone come up on a Friday night public overnight. They did some EVP work in Lois and Audrey's room. Went back, of course, the next morning, reviewed their evidence. Then they came back Saturday on the 2-hour tour.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to tell us that not only did they catch, what is it? Lois, saying Audrey on the recorder. They also heard Audrey saying Lois.
Wow.
Now, Audrey did not die there.
No.
But
that's where Lois is.
If they found each other
at Waverly,
just warm your heart just a little bit.
Yeah, I got good chills.
I mean, doesn't it? I mean, because if they found each other, and whatever the hell happens to us when we're done, if they found each other, that's just awesome.
That is an awesome story.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I mean, I'll give you a little bit of background on it. Lois and her sister Audrey was younger, like Dale had said earlier. She was 7-8 years younger than Lois. They shared a room on the second floor at Waverly Hills. Lois, after getting better and then getting worse and getting better and getting worse a couple of times, eventually died at Waverly after Audrey had already been discharged. Audrey went on to lead a long, happy, healthy life, and we for years have gotten EVPs and different messages from Lois in there where she's calling out to her sister. You'll hear an EVP of her saying, Audrey, Audrey, like she's just trying to get her attention in the dark. As you know, you can picture two sisters laying in bed side by side, and you know, like Lois is leaning over, checking to see if Audrey's awake or whatever. So for them to now get Audrey back at Waverly, reunited with Lois, to those of us who have a connection to the building and have spent time up there communicating or trying to communicate with Lois's spirit, that's pretty heartwarming. I mean, it's cool. It's the place cool. Gets in your heart. I mean, it gets in here.
Absolutely.
As for the body chute, the body chute is a construction tunnel that was commandeered into a discreet way to remove bodies from the building. It is a shitload of steps.
Mm-hmm.
We had some argument today, and when I was a little bit thinner, Cindy Carrico and I walked to the bottom and then walked back up and counted everyone up. There are exactly 153 steps.
Wow.
At a horrible angle. It looks the same at the bottom as it does the top. The body chute, I'm not going to lie to you. I know a lot of people get a lot of evidence in there. I have never had a single thing happen to me in the body chute, not one. I feel a little left out. It hurts my feelings just a little bit. And I wouldn't even, it is my least favorite part of the tour. But if I try to skip the body chute, people are ready to cut you.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
I have been pushing, and I feel like I might actually get my way this year. I want a T-shirt that says I walk the body chute.
Yeah, that you can only get if you actually walk the body chute.
Yes. That doesn't mean you get it for free, all right? I got windows to buy. But yeah, and I had to say that because Renee's sitting right here. There are several things. I'm going to drop off here and let you guys do your thing. But guys, I just want you to know that we're going to try to make sure that this is, our funnest, best year ever. Last year when I had not enough people and I had trying to split groups to watch shadow people, and there was only one person on that tour, and it was the guide, and I had a caboose or TA, whatever you want to call it, sprinting from one end of the building to the other to go help the other tour guide with the that all that does is cheat the customers out of stuff. It takes away from their experience. If we're not prepared, we're going to be prepared. We're going to get this right. We're going to take care of you. Don't worry about anything you've heard or read. We're going to make this right. I promise.
Right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad you got the opportunity to clear up the air on a few things because, I mean, like we said, Waverly it's here. I mean, it's near and dear to our hearts. I mean, despite what might have happened last year. But we love it, and we want the best for Waverly Hills, and I've got a lot of respect for the folks that are up there, living and dead, and it's always going to be our favorite place, no matter what. I mean, there's some awesome places out there.
Yeah.
Anybody that's watching,
and they all need your support, especially with this COVID stuff.
COVID has hurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hunters and paranormal enthusiasts, we need those places to stay afloat. So support
they got to stay afloat so they don't get turned into condos.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dale, if you can stay with us for just a minute, I'm going to end the broadcast. We'll get a little bit of info for you for your parting gifts. And and anyway, everybody else, we'll be back next Sunday night. I'll let her tell it because she yells at me if I try to say.
I don't know what's going to be next Sunday. We'll just be here. Y'all show up. How's that?
Fine. Okay, that's how we're going to do things. Anyway, everybody, I appreciate you joining in. Everybody that chimed in on the chat. Y'all have a great night. Share this to all your friends and take care. We'll see you.